I'm flying above the waters of the Northern Pacific, and I'm heading to the island chain furthest away from any major landmass in the world, Hawaii. My mission here on the island of Oahu is to come face to face with the apex predator of the ocean, the shark. But before I dive down into the deep, I will learn more about Hawaii and its ocean-based culture.
This place is so incredibly dramatic.
Well, the islands were actually started to get formed about 40 million years ago when hotspots under the Earth's crust formed these sea volcanoes. And those volcanoes kept erupting under the surface of the ocean until they eventually breached the surface, and that's what made our island chain. That happened about 3 million years ago.
Wow, so it's very young. Hawaii is very young.
Very young. We're the newest feature to pop up on the face of planet Earth. So most of the islands, the volcanoes are dormant. But over on the Big Island, the volcano Mauna Kea is still very active. It's making the Big Island bigger and bigger every day. And there's another island, a ninth Hawaiian island, that is being formed under the Earth's surface right now. Her name is Loihi, and we should see her in about 50,000 years.
Okay. And the Big Island is like, it's bigger than Everest or something, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you measure from the top of Mauna Kea all the way down to the ocean floor, it's more than 1 mile higher than Mount Everest. It's the tallest island in the world.
Wow. So this whole steering thing, how does it work?
Well, go ahead, take the controls right there and I'll show you.
Okay.
Just leave the bar right up there where it wants to float, and if you want to turn left, you just pull in with your left.
Okay.
Go ahead and try that.
I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna do a turn.
Alright, let's see it. Yeah! Woo!
I'm on my way to meet Keone Nunes, who's a native Hawaiian and an expert in the art of uhi, which is traditional Hawaiian tattoo that takes inspiration from the land and most importantly the sea. But before I do that, I have to collect a vital ingredient, the kukui nut. And to do that, I have to find a kukui tree. And there it is. That is the state symbol of Hawaii, the kukui tree. They're not originally from here, they were brought from Polynesia about 2,000 years ago, but they are of vital importance in the culture here, and they use every single part of the tree. The trunk is used in canoes, the bark is used for ropes, the leaves are used for medicinal purposes, the flowers for ceremonial headdresses and things like that, and then the fruit, also vitally important. That's what it looks like when it comes off the tree. When it dries a bit, they look like that. You open them up. Inside is a very, very hard nut, sometimes also known as a candle nut, because they will burn for about 15 minutes. And that's because they're exceptionally rich in oil. And that is another reason that people like Keone use them to make ink for traditional tattoos. So I'm going to take this and he's going to show me how that's done. Fascinating. So Keone, these are the kukui nuts that I got from the island.
Right.
And this is what you use to make your traditional ink.
Yes.
How does that work?
Well, first we go and we actually crack the nuts and gather the meat. The meat is very, very oily. And then we make a fire and we put the meat in the fire and we actually catch the soot which comes off the smoke.
Okay.
And that's why you see that lid on the cover.
Because the smoke goes up and the soot settles on it.
Exactly.
And that's what you collect.
Exactly. Then we take that soot and we mix it with sugarcane juice. And that's our traditional
That's our
ink.
traditional ink.
Yeah.
And then you use traditional tools, which is what he's making over here to make the tattoo, to do the tattoo.
Exactly. Our tools are basically made from bone and wood. And it takes a lot of time and skill to actually make them. And we in Hawaii have arguably the best traditional tool makers in the world.
Wow. Because it's a very highly skilled job, isn't it? To
Yes.
make the tools.
Definitely.
And I mean, all of the tattoos that the guys have are just incredible, but they all tell a story. There's a purpose behind them.
Yes, in Polynesia, all of the designs have meaning. And you know, if you look at mines, there's a lot that is family designs. but there's some very ancient designs like the one on the back of my leg.
Yeah.
It's called Nakaye Valu, means the 8 oceans. And that symbolizes the oceans in Hawaii.
Amazing. And Polynesians are very connected to the ocean. You're very connected to your culture.
Yes, the ocean provides for us. That's the means in which we came to these islands. And it also provides the home for our family guardians, the guardians we call Aumakua.
Aumakua.
Yeah.
So Aumakua are your guardians.
Yes.
And like, give me an example of...
Well, there are a lot of different Aumakua. I think the one that's mainly well known is the shark. And so the shark lives in the ocean, obviously, and so it provides a home for that.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Well, you're going to show me how to do a traditional tattoo very
Yes.
soon, which I cannot wait to see. But before that, we're going to go and watch another traditional piece of Hawaiian storytelling, which is called a hula. And then we'll come back and you'll show me how to do this.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
definitely.
I can't wait.
Okay.
So I thought the hula was traditionally done by ladies, but I can see like a whole lot of pretty scary men standing around here. So could you tell me a bit about that?
Sure. Actually, the men were the first hula dancers. And from these men, warriors were selected based on their physical attributes.
Wow, okay. And a hula tells a story, doesn't it? So this hula, what's the story behind it?
Yes, this hula talks about Kamehameha Ekahi. He's the uniter of our islands. And it talks about him taking his armada of canoes into battle, encountering a great storm, and fighting this storm throughout the night.
Wow. Okay, I'm excited.
Go. Koni koni me kalike me kapuwai, koni koni me kalike me kapuwai, nau e kahulua nau ka uhane aloha, o a ia loko, lo Hawaii ke i, Hawaii ke aloha, Hawaii ke aloha, aloha e. Nau e kahulua. Ai, hoi puna I ka wā. Hoi, hoi puna I ka waa, hololoa ka ino, hauleule ina lai hala oko olau, e hala e hai ke kui a ka ulumano, hala e ka makavalu I ke ahea e, a hula oi ka pahu, a ka awava, hanane e ke kikala, ko hiloki ni ho ilu ulu I ke onea o hanakahi ka pololo, wahine o ka lua lava.
Wow. I'm impressed. Very, very good, guys. It is very powerful. Amazing. I will now witness a traditional tattoo being made, and I'm curious to learn about the meaning behind its patterns.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you guys doing?
Good.
So you started already.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
Good.
Yeah. So what is the tattoo that you're doing again?
Well, this is a tattoo for his protection. This is one that is traditionally done in Hawaii, and the triangles represent what we call niho or teeth, and they allow all the good things within him to come out, but they prevent anything negative from going in.
Okay.
And so that's because he works with his hands and all of that, that's very appropriate for him. The long lines that encircle the wrist is called molina, and that represents the flight of the moli, or the albatross. And when the albatross gets ready to leave the nest, it goes out in a journey around the world, and it doesn't come back for 7 years. And so that represents, in essence, patience, endurance, longevity.
Amazing.
Yeah.
After having witnessed the ancient traditions of the ocean-based Hawaiian culture, it's now time for me to dive into the blue to meet the apex predator that roams their waters. But first, I will need to learn the basics of freediving from professional freediver Ocean Ramsey, also known as the Shark Whisperer.
So we're gonna start with a peak inhalation. So put your hand on your stomach, and we're gonna pull our stomach out and inflate just the bottom portion of our lungs. Then your chest, and then finish it off, filling up the upper intercostals. You're very full. Now we're gonna stretch our lungs while holding our breath. Lean left, half moon, lean right, half moon, and then slowly exhale for 10 seconds. And relax. So we're gonna allow our heart rate to drop as we slowly exhale.
Together with her fiancé Juan, Ocean has founded the company One Ocean Diving. They're on a mission to save the declining shark population by helping people understand these animals better and take away the fear surrounding these creatures. As I'm focused on controlling my breath while doing these stretches, the reality of what's about to happen sinks in. I'm going in with the sharks without any cage or scuba gear. I fully understand these animals mean no harm, but I can't help but get a little nervous for this adventure. So I have just come from my incredible breath hold experience with Ocean. Why are you guys so passionate about sharks?
Yeah, we started One Ocean Diving in 2007 to kind of help combat the fear that people have of sharks and looking at sharks as monsters.
Yeah.
They're really the opposite of what most people think. They're apex predators, far from monsters. They don't want anything to do with humans. It's really as a food source. And this program gets people directly in the water to be able to see how sharks really are.
Getting in the water is the best way to deal with that, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, you're not getting to see fictitious stuff. You're getting to see how they really behave in the water.
Well, let's get in the water then.
Awesome.
Do
Let's
it,
get
man.
in there, bud. Yeah.
So, time is on us.
Yeah, it is. You're looking ready.
I'm ready. A little bit apprehensive, but I trust you. But run me through, the do's and don'ts.
Perfect. Yeah. So basically the essentials for shark diving, the most important rule to me is the eye contact. These guys are predators. They use their eyes. They do give you a space bubble. When you're aware of your surroundings, you're identifying where they're at. They definitely give you a nice little space bubble is the word I like to use there. Also, too, you want to make sure that you're not using your hands like a lot. You want to try and kind of like tuck them in off to your sides of your body. The main thing is they're not looking like a hurt, injured fish or a prey item. The other is going to be no heavy splashing, so no cannonballing off the boat. I always like to say, and not kicking really hard at the surface. Some of these sharks are surface feeders, so that does get them more into the hunting mode.
Okay.
But those three, you'd be good to go.
Well, let's go do it.
All right, let's get ready then. Let's get in there.
Let's go see some sharks. As Juan and I take turns diving down with the camera, it's just seconds before we are surrounded by a number of curious sharks. Swimming alongside these sharks, I feel small and vulnerable, but never do I feel threatened. I'm a guest in their domain, and there is a mutual respect. Getting to see these agile and graceful animals up close is a truly humbling experience.
Ah, that was awesome, guys. Water biz is so clear right now. 100 foot plus.
What was the shark that came in really close to me like that?
That was a sandbar shark. Although there was a lot of Galapagos sharks in there, the sandbar shark, that one, he was just being real dominant, staying high at the top end of the water column.
Unbelievably incredible. Dude, that is like high five moment. Thank you very much.
Sweet. I'm so
just
glad
incredible.
you experienced it.
Yeah. We go have some dinner?
Oh, that sounds great.
Worked up an appetite. That was
yeah.
phenomenal. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Love it.
Well, guys, I just made an entirely vegan meal here, which is not something I do often, but it's to say thank you so much for a truly life-changing, incredible experience here in Hawaii. The one thing, I put a little bit of the kukui nut in the poi, which I know is not something you do traditionally, is it?
But that's a neat spice on it. And it's all local and organic.
Exactly.
And I'm impressed with the vegan, it's so delicious.
Thank you very much. This has been something I'm not going to forget in a long time. So this is just a little way to say thank you and a great place to end it.
Alhamdulillah, we've had such a great time, and it's been such a pleasure sharing the culture and the sharks, literally 3 miles offshore, just right in here, and to finish it off, you know, and thank you for sharing the message for the sharks for conservation.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the sharks. Cheers to you guys. Thank you.